Teza.
Hi.
Can I just say congratulations for being our Star Lecturer of the Month here at GBS.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I mean, how does it feel to be our Star Lecturer? Chosen, out of all the lecturers, you are exceptional.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm still a little bit very nervous and stay in shock.
I could imagine.
But thank you for all this opportunity and thank you for thinking of me.
You're very welcome. So let's dive straight into the question. Now tell me, what do you teach and why do you choose to teach here at GBS?
I teach HND in Digital Technologies in Manchester campus. The reason that drew me to GBS is because of our slogan, changing lives through education.
Me too. I like that, me too. So tell me, Teza, what is your teaching philosophy?
Well, I truly believe in collaborative learning and relational pedagogy, meaning that the classroom is a collaborative, environment between the teacher and the students. The teacher is not the authoritative figure, and the traditional classrooms, but the classroom is based on a positive, environment where the mutual respects and trust is there, and it's also an active, learning environment where students are actively participating, engaging, not the lecturer just lecturing. But I also believe that our students are adults who can bring in their own individual experiences, background and a wealth of knowledge, and accepting them as their own individual with different learning needs and making sure that, my approach is meeting all different learning, requirements. I think that's really important for me as a teacher. And I also like to make sure that, my students are being empowered and building confidence in the classroom, because one day they are going to leave our classrooms and they're going to be professionals, in digital technologies fields. So I think building confidence and autonomy is also very important.
I love the fact of highlighting building that confidence and empowerment, and I think that's what our student needs. I have actually been into your class and I do like the way you connect with all your learners. Give us an example of how you connect with your learners, most especially the reluctant one, for the benefit of our viewers.
My students, I'm quite lucky in a way that they are all good students, but with every class sometimes you can have a little bit challenging situation as all lecturers face. So I make sure that I talk to all my students in every class, making sure checking in on them, knowing their names. But particularly I had one student in my class, and the first day of the class he told me that I am different from all the other students you faced before. You've never faced a student like me. So I just laughed and I said okay, and I just carry on. But I make sure to check in on him in every single session. How are you doing? How are you getting on? Like I would do with all my other students. And by the time we got to the end of the block, he moved his seat from the back of the class to the middle, and now we are in the last block, and he sat at the front, always answering questions. And so
that's just really nice. And I did notice that in your class when I visited. And the way, like I said earlier on, the way you connect with your students in the classroom is just amazing. And that reflects on all your feedbacks. So tell us, what interventions have you developed to improve your students' learning experience in the classroom?
We use a lot of active learning approach. So for example, my students are always on their feet, they're always doing something, and we are digital technology, so we have a lot of practical activities, and active learning keep them engaged. But at the same time, I think it's the classroom family spirit and the how they care for each other is what keep them coming back to class. So what I mean by that is that if one of my students is not in class, before I even had a chance to ring the student, some of them, another student would have already got to the student, why are you not in class? Dr. Teza is going to start the class very soon. You need to be in class. And we also celebrate every birthdays and every occasion. So, they feel that they are a part of the community. And so they will always say that, oh, I need to be in class next week, but I might be a little bit late, but I'm gonna come in, Dr. Teza, don't worry, I'll be there, I promise. And I think it's because they know that I'm expecting them to be in class. So if they cannot be in there, they let me know because they know otherwise I'm going to start calling them, why are you not in class?
And we could see one of our values here at GBS, which is we care for our students, and this could be seen in your classroom as well.
Thank you.
And well done. Thank you so much. So how do you assess your students' progress, and why is this essential?
Assessment is very important, and we assess our students through formative, activities and formative assessments, week 3 and week 6, because that give me a chance to see how my students are getting on with their work, and also give them a chance to get feedback from me. And normally what I do is that I will sit down with my students to go through their work, and I will provide them with feedback. And so it's an individual and tailored feedback to their work. And what I also like to do is I like to remind my students that, look, in block 1, you were aiming for a pass. Now you are disappointed if you don't get a distinction. So look how far you've come. I also make them remember where they started and where they are now, and how they can improve or even to be even better when they finish their level 5, or, when they start their level 5.
Thank you so much. And that leads me to my last question of the day. I mean, how does a great lesson looks like to you? And how important is the role of a positive, safe atmosphere for learning for your students? I've seen it in your class, but I'd like you to share it for your colleagues.
A great lesson is clearly structured and clearly implemented, and with activities that are structured and engaging for the students. And if the lecture is, if the lesson is not structured, it's quite difficult for the lecturer to control the classroom or control the flow of the classroom. And I make sure that I'm the most enthusiastic person before I go into my classroom, because I feel that if I'm not enthusiastic or excited about what I'm going to teach, how can I make my students excited about what I'm going to teach?
Yes.
And I feel that, I believe that, good lesson and a safe and safe learning environment are interlinked with each other, because if the classroom is not a safe environment, the students will feel a bit hesitant to participate or share their views. So by creating a safe learning environment, or the students can build their confidence, and they are more likely to take risk, and more likely to share their views and participate in class. So I
love that fact.
Those two are interlinked.
Yes, thank you so much. That was really great. Once again, congratulations for being our Star Lecturer of the Month. It was great to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Glad
being
to be here.
You have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.